So as you're diving or attempting to dive in the world into that world of wealth creators, the first thing is I want you to be gentle with yourself. Many people are not gentle with
Thank you for
themselves.
sharing this information.
Yes, I want you to be gentle with yourself. So that's the first thing. I want you to be very, very gentle with yourself. Many people are beating themselves down, um, and that doesn't help.
Can
That
you
doesn't
hear
help
me?
at all. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, go on. Right. So this is part two, the wealth creator, the power of wealth creation, right? And Miss Katerina, we're just talking, right? Here's the deal. That spectrum, when I say 100% wealth creation mode, let me just call it a mode, a way of thinking, a way of being, a way of existence in the world, a way of moving in the world, right? The Elon Musk of the world, the Jeff Bezos of the world, right? The Bill Gates of the world, right? The Warren Buffetts of the world, they are 100% wealth creators. What I also shared is that at 0% is where we talk about really at the beginning stage when people are born, the promise of moving into, right, job survival mode, right, is that we don't want the economy, governments do not want people 100% not having skills that they can commercialize, because those who do not participate in the economy in any way.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am, you're back. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Oh no, you couldn't. Okay, this was my fault. I put myself on mute on Clubhouse and I was talking to the screen. Okay, can you hear me now, Miss Katarina?
Yes, I was like, oh, what I
Oh my
do?
gosh. That was on me. Apologies. That was on me. I was enjoying our conversation, but I totally didn't take myself off mute. Please go on. Go
Oh
on.
man, no, no, no. I had stopped, and I didn't know if you were talking or not, so I went out and came back, and I'm like, I can't
I was
hear her.
talking. I was talking, but I was on mute.
Okay, now you got to tell me what you were saying because I didn't hear anything.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, let me try and repeat myself. So basically, and thank you to those who are joining. ACM Anderson, come up, come up. You know, you're a regular here as well. So what I was talking about is really also the slider. I just want people, I always try to paint a picture, right? I always try to create this image so that people can understand what I'm trying to convey. Just think about a slider, a spectrum. 0, 100. 100% wealth creator, 0% wealth creator. 0% wealth creator is where you have poverty in economics terms, right? Then people slide up, down, hopefully up, right? You go out of 0. 0 is you don't have a job, you're not creating anything, right? And you're dependent 100%. This is where a lot of programs, government incentives, and the world of NGO, not for profit, right? Just giving people sustenance. This is where the saying, give a man a fish or teach him how to fish. That's where those conversations come in, right? Teaching a man to fish is where people now start sliding. Go to school, spend the first 20 years acquiring specific degrees so that you can have specific skills that wealth creators will buy from you. Your employer is a wealth creator. The structure of a business, right, that employs people, right? Somebody took the risks to build that structure. Somebody invested themselves to build that business, and that they are the people more important. They are the most important to the growth of an economy, wealth creation. So survival mode. Okay, this is why I say be gentle with you. That's one of the message I was trying to convey to you, Miss Katarina, is be gentle with yourself, because if you feel you are in survival mode, it's by design. Survival mode was created by design. Dependency on your employer was generated by design. Because if you develop a skill and you don't know how to sell it as an entrepreneur to the marketplace, the market is there. You can literally sell anything today in the marketplace. But if you don't have the skill, if you've not acquired the skill, the things I teach in my school, if you don't develop that skill to be able to sell your products, your services yourself, you will depend on an employer to do everything for you. It's by design. So, what moves people out of survival mode is self reliance. This is where the self. Now, it's either you depend on the system, this is 100% poverty, you depend on the government, or you depend on an employer, or you depend on yourself. Which one? And the self you have to depend on, you have to develop that self, your mind, your skills, your capacity. Now you have to invest in yourself because now to create wealth, it's on you. 100% you. So the slider of 0 to 100 is also a slider of self-confidence, self-belief, self-investment, self-education. And people stop when they stop on that slider. 0 is 100% dependent on the government for sustenance. Slide up, get a degree, spend 20 years getting a degree, you depend on your employer. If this employer doesn't pay you well, you move on to another employer. That employer doesn't train you, you go to another employer because that's where you can sell your skill. That's where you have to park your car to sustain. And that's where that survivor mind comes in by design. My point today is there's a whole spectrum, the wealth creator spectrum. This is where we talk about investment, entrepreneurship, right? Business development, right? Manufacturing, right? Value creation, value distribution. The people who do that work and participate in that space, they're the ones holding up the economy of a nation. And there is another education you must attain, self-education, because this is what you do for yourself. The government, you can't depend on the government for wealth creation. Listen, this is where when we talk about personal growth, personal development, my school, entrepreneurship, business education, networking, event, the people who are wealth creators invest heavily in that space because that's the only way you know what to do and how to do it. And you'll find out that people that are still like in survival mode or dependent, they will not invest because they don't know why they ought to invest. If you have a job and you're satisfied and you're happy, if Toyin is saying enroll in my academy, you're like, why? Because people don't understand it's a window into moving yourself from survival mode to at least start learning how to now invest in yourself so that if you create a product or a service, you don't depend on an employer. You can go straight into the marketplace and sell anything you want to sell. You can create, that is what we talk about, the free market system, capitalism. I'm talking in terms of economic terms now. I work with government, I change government. The free market system, you can sell, you can freely sell anything in the world. But if you don't have the skill, if you haven't educated yourself, if you don't build your own confidence, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe the world, listen, it's all on you. You can't participate. Because when you start sliding into the wealth creation zone, it's 100% on you. The risks you're going to take, the leverage you want to, right? Is how much you believe in yourself will determine how much risk you can take. Elon Musk is taking, he got 40 something billion dollars to acquire Twitter. That guy believes in himself. And other people believe in him enough to invest in him. That's the only way you get into that wealth creator mode, is that you believe in what you see about the future. You trust yourself to go out there and create it. That belief is what people invest in. That belief is what attracts your customers, clients, and people who want to work with you. That is what attracts customers to you, clients to you. The belief that you can create solutions for the world that commands value. And when you don't believe in that, listen, survival mode dependency. That's why I say wealth creation is a belief system. Poverty is a belief system. What do you believe?
You said the wealth system is a belief system.
Yes, it's a way of thinking about the world, about yourself, about the world, and pursuing opportunities. It's specific. It's a way of thinking. Let me use another phrase. It's a mindset. Wealth creation is a mindset. That's why when you see regions of the world where wealth creators that share the same mindset, where they collide, money will be made, economies will grow. Silicon Valley, right? Ford, Detroit. You see clusters, Arkansas, Walmart. You see clusters of thinkers. When I lived, listen, I won't even go into that side. But trust me, if you go into a community and you see nothing, no wealth, it's a belief system. If you move into another community and you see skyscrapers, development in the world of economic development, realize humans created that reality with their thinking. When you see skyscrapers, when you see businesses, you see money flowing, commerce happening, buying and selling, trade, right? In and out. Humans created collectively that reality. And when you move into another zone and you see none of those things, humans created that reality. It's a belief system. When people don't work together, when they don't believe in themselves, when they don't believe in the world, right, it will lead to certain behavior. The belief, what you believe in, will lead you to take certain actions or not, because action is what gets the result. Wealth is created by action, activities. This is where when we talk about GDP, the GDP of a nation, it's a calculation based on the flow of money, how humans are buying and selling in an economy, deficits, all of those things, right? Are you manufacturing? Is a country manufacturing and exporting? Or are they importing? Are they depending on other people to make what they are consuming? This is so for me, my work goes from speaking to an individual, helping them start their business, speaking to a business, helping them scale their business, speaking to government, helping them to bridge economic development. Okay? So I know I just went off there.
That's the information. I'm trying to write it down, so I'm definitely gonna have to go to your YouTube videos to take notes because I'm look, I'm hungry. I need to I need to go to my next level in business. I have what it takes. I have the skills to do it. It's just what am I gonna do?
Right.
What is my passion? And
Exactly.
push.
Right. And you can also reach out and set up a time, because for me, I developed a mindset program for my students in my school. So I have an academy, Toyin Umesiri Academy. It's for entrepreneurs. I'm also the author of Mindset of an Entrepreneur, Strategy, Skills, and Mindset for Achieving Business Growth and Success. And the
Okay,
reason, yes,
your book again is mindset.
Mindset of an Entrepreneur. Maybe I'll switch out the link and give you the link to find out more information. So it's my Toyin. I'm typing it now on the. Let's see.
Okay.
Bear with me, because everything that I teach and coach on is governed by the principles I just shared about, realizing that people who seek to move out from quote and unquote the survival space, sustenance, survival sustenance, basic needs, and want to move into the wealth creator space, there's a new type of education they must expose themselves to. It's a new way of thinking, it's a new way of being, it's a new way of tapping into opportunities in the world. The opportunities are there, right? But I always say something like in my book, I talk about employee mindset versus entrepreneurial mindset. That in itself is a whole topic. The system that created employee mindset make people depend on the employer. It builds your confidence at the level of information the school exposed you to. So let's say you're an accountant or an engineer, your confidence in what they taught you in school will be high. But when it comes to public speaking, communications, right? Those key skills are important to wealth creators, right? Whether you advance in company, when we start talking about leadership principles, okay, there are some skills that will slide you from survival mode and will start helping you get more out of life, right? So for example, even if you're an employee with you're an employee now, you might be at the entry level, you want to move into management. It's no longer just technical skills. It's not just, you can't just go promote me because I can do tactical skills. That's not what moves people up the chain in corporate. It's leadership. You start talking about leadership development, right? Your communication skills, your interpersonal skills, EQ. This is where we talk about person. If you don't invest in learning the skills that will take you to the next level, you are going to stay where you are, because it's nobody is responsible. Nobody is responsible in teaching you how to create more wealth, how to advance, how to make more money. Remember, even the first degree you went to, it was on you and your family. It was on you and your family. The first early stages of maybe elementary, that's when they say free education. This level of wealth creation education is not free.
You
That's,
are so correct.
it's not free. And this is the saddest thing to watch in today, right? Most people that are still caught up in survival, they believe that somebody will give them free what they will use to create wealth. It's a lie. It's 100. You wait forever. You wait where you are, because this information is under lock and key. People have been creating wealth, multi-billion dollar businesses forever. They don't share it with the world. Because listen, they invested in themselves. You listen, if you go and sit with people who do this, wealth creators, when they tell you their stories, the risks they've taken, they might do charity, but they are not about to give you their time, energy, because what it costs them to do what they are doing. The only people they share it freely with is their children. They pass it that's why we talk about generational wealth. They will make sure their children, they pass it to their children. People have been building wealth for a long time, free market system. But what I see out there is the people that have never built it before, they are still in the cluster. They're still like, oh, I went to school, I'm smart, I'm this, I'm that. They're real, they're so proud of that space. And now when I say entrepreneurship development, investment facilitation, they're like, they discount it. And they also feel somebody owes them that level of investment, that somebody else owes them, teaching them those skills. And I'm saying, no, no, sir, no, ma'am. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. It doesn't work that way. If you're satisfied where you are, don't worry, just stay where you are. If you're not ready to invest in yourself, don't worry, stay where you are. If you're not ready to learn or enroll, don't worry, stay where you are. You're not ready to read any book, don't worry, stay where you are. So the world passes by every day. The world is passing people by every day. Because the people who are running after knowledge, the people who are running after wealth creation knowledge, wealth creation education, learning, maximizing, they are the ones creating wealth. And those who don't want that, they are waiting for somebody, whether it's the government, whether it's the employer. I don't even know what they're waiting for. It doesn't work that way. In fact, I remember in the line of work, right? There's this analogy. It's like in the world of what we say, poverty eradication, policies to eliminate poverty, all these things. Let me tell you the biggest problem in that world. The only way to get rid of poverty is educate people, right? And they empower themselves and they learn skills. Because as long as you are feeding people, you are leaving them dependence. You feed them today, you feed them tomorrow. Any type of charity that doesn't incorporate education does not transform people. It just keeps people sustained. You eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you will not go hungry. You have clothing, you have shelter. That's it. That's it. Okay? Sustenance. Other people will do that work for you. What other people will do for you is help you sustain. You won't go hungry. You have a roof over your head. You'll be able to get clothing. That is the best thing the best governments in the world can do for their people that are zero. Right? Because life does happen. Right? So they have that's the safety net. They will catch people so that you don't go hungry and you have your basic needs met. My point is sliding yourself up. Remember, I talked about 0%, 100%. How do you slide yourself? Education is the only way, is the only thing that slides you. Education in accounting, education in engineering will help you secure this skill so that now you don't depend on the government. You can now move it to depend on an employer. You will always be looking for an employer that wants to buy your skill and will give you a job. Wealth creator is when you start depending on you. And when you look at you in the mirror, this is when you tell yourself the truth. What skills do I need? How do I develop myself? Because right now, this new journey, there's nobody. There's nobody. There's nobody. Only the person in the mirror. This is why we talk about investment, personal development. This is only when it matters. Those who want to unleash, right, the highest potential within them, who want to contribute at the highest levels in the world, they are the people that will enroll in my school, take my programs, because those are the next level. It moves you out of survival mode. You start learning skills, right, for wealth creation skills. Those are the things I teach. Hey, welcome, Miss Kobala Guy. Hey, yes, coach, such great content. Yes, the real deal. There needs to be knowledge transfer to truly help others who are in poverty. But here's the key: who pays for it? Who's responsible? That's why I'm trying to explain. The way you want the world to work is not how it works. I explain how it is, how it works. That's what I explain. Because many people are living like, it should be this, it should be that, it should be this. No, come back. Take another look. Governments, the best thing they do, particularly when a child is born, this is why elementary is required. Learning A, B, C, D. Imagine if people don't know A, B, C, D. One, two, three. What can they do in the world? Okay. Governments will set up ministries of education. Let me break it down because I know Mrs. Kobalaka is in education space as an entrepreneur in that space. The government want to make sure, because here's the key: when any government that doesn't do this, people will suffer. People will remain in poverty zone, and they can't, they don't, like, they become like societies. It becomes very dangerous. Desperation, right? This is where we talk about economic development. So when I'm talking to government, it's a different thing. When I'm talking to an individual, it's a different thing. When I'm talking to multilateral institutions, right? Where do they, the projects they want to release, right? All the sustainability projects, blah, 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 all these things being funded. The question is, what is it doing? Is it sustaining or is it empowering people for wealth creation? Because the only answer to poverty, the only answer to darkness, if you enter a room, people, you can write research paper of how dark it is, the intensity of darkness. The only solution is switch on the lights. Education is what switches on the lights to unleash human potential, human capacity, human creativity. Education. But whenever I say education, the first thing that comes into people's mind is traditional education, first degree, second degree, right? But life education beyond your degree. How are you? Self-education is what leads to wealth creation. Put that in quotes. Self-education is what leads to wealth creation. What you teach yourself, what you train yourself beyond what the system trained you, because the system will train you to survive and to sustain. Okay? The system, because think about it as mass production. Remember, governments have to manage millions of people. So the education system is designed just like an assembly line. If you're age 0 to this, go here. 5 to this, go here. By age 7, you should be here. By age 13, be here. By age 18, here. By age, you graduate, you go. It's an assembly line that takes, and remember, every single day, new babies are born in an economy. When a baby is born, there's a system in place. Everything you have to do: give them a name, give them a number, birth certificate, On age dehumanization, this. It's a production. Listen, everybody's taking through a system. Beyond the system, when you now get into an employer zone, you are now left by yourself, right? But there is still tax system, bill system, right? There are still other system governing the community, the economy. Okay. But once you get a job, technically you're on your own. Even whether to go to first degree or second degree, it's also on you. Not everybody pushes themselves to PhD like my husband did, right? Wealth creation is another world entirely. And the education in that world is not in the curriculum of individuals. It isn't taught to individuals. Entrepreneurship isn't taught to individuals. Even getting busy, you can even get an MBA. An MBA, okay, will teach you how to run an existing business, not how to start a new one. Okay. This is where we talk about startup ecosystem, going from zero to, right? When I say I teach A to Z of entrepreneurship, when people go through my program, listen, A to Z of entrepreneurship, this is the school for entrepreneurs. Your mind, your skills, business model, pricing a product, branding a product, marketing a product, sales, all those things that would help you start and launch a new business is what I have in my school. An MBA will help you, will give you the figures, making assumption. Remember, these degrees will help you go into an existing business and find a job. An MBA or a business degree will help you find a job in an existing company, management job. You will be looking at the numbers, you'll be managing existing stuff, blah, blah, right? Good. The day you want to start from zero, that's when you need to call me. So anyway, I'm just trying to be funny, but I really do mean this stuff. This stuff is important stuff, right? This is what drives why I teach. The reason is because everybody wants to talk in the world of economics. Oh yes, and there's money. People are spending money. They say, oh, poverty alleviation, this is it. Well, for my own study as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, right? At the end of the day, teach people wealth creation skills. Teach people wealth creation mindset, and they will they would, because you don't have to go through that traditional education system to be a wealth creator. That's another topic entirely. You can learn wealth. This is what governs the business community. When you have a child, once you are exposed to how the business runs, you can run the business. But if you are not exposed, you can't run it. You can't run it. That's why, again, if you go to communities around the world, if you see businesses, commerce happening, there are wealth creators in that zip code, in that zone. If you don't see commerce, absence of commerce means that wealth creators don't live in that zone, because it's a belief system, it's a way of thinking that leads to specific behaviors and specific action. And listen, it doesn't care where you are. This is why we talk about free, particularly if you're living in a free market system like America. Nobody can stop you from selling. Nobody can stop you from engaging. It's a free market. You can create services, you can create products. And one other thing I also want you to know is that wealth creator, governments invest more. Economic development activities happen more in the wealth creation zone. Incentives, tax incentives, because the government wants wealth creators to prosper, because when they prosper, the economy prosper. When you can employ more people, when you can create more jobs, right? When you can sell products, when you can sell services, this is also what connects to the international trade work I do. If you can make a product in a city, listen, you can sell it all over the world, you will make more money. Distribution of your products and services to people all over the world. It's a skill set. And when people don't learn that skill set, wealth creation skills, wealth creation mindset, then you're still doing employee mindset, survival mindset, limited mindset, dependency mindset. Because that was the promise of that. You come out of school and you're like, where's the employer? I need employment. It's by design. I've gone through that as well. So I understand it clearly. The skills, right, is by design. Like my skills, my skills, if I put it on a resume now, an employer has to buy it from me. Anyway, That's it. This was part two. Let me know what you think. Katharina, any other parting words as I'm going to close out on part two now? Okay. Are you still with us? You can unmute if you want to contribute. Oh, okay. Sometimes you're in the back channel. Anyway, so head over to toyinumesiri.com/programs or toyinumesiri.academy if you're interested in the entrepreneurship side of my work. The link is up above for those listening to the replay. And thank you so much, others joining as well. I'll see you again. More content, more impactful, transformative, educational content to come. Follow me, like, subscribe, share this as